In this screencast, we're going to talk about how to set up a lesson. We've already gone over the settings, so now let's get into the idea of creating questions, how to create questions, how to create branches, how it can flow and work with one another. What I've done is I've actually dropped into a colleague's course that she is designing, and she actually has a lesson built out. So we're going to go ahead and look at that and show you how it can work, or kind of go from the standpoint of after something's been created, how did she get there. But one thing I need to preface is, to design a lesson, I implore you to map it out ahead of time, because as you'll see, what page you jump to next, or what answer leads to what response, or where it directs you to inside the lesson, is dependent upon you knowing where you want to take the student. And it's best to have that mapped out ahead of time so that you know how to put in the questions, put in the responses, and then how to link them throughout. Okay, so that's something that's a great practice to get into just in general when working in Moodle, and even designing or kind of structuring your course anyway. So we're course, we get an icon, and we're Baker lesson 1. So this will be, it's created. So we're seeing things a little bit differently because I'm in as an administrator. So from a student standpoint, they wouldn't be able to see some of these functions up here in the right hand corner. Like for instance, you could update this lesson. That would take you back into the settings where you can manipulate the settings. You can edit the page content. That would deal with the specific page that's in front of you. You can turn the blocks editing off, where it would get rid of this section here. You still have this jump to menu. This would actually take you to a separate page within the lesson. So we're not going to click on any of that. We're going to come down here. Up here at the top, as the administrator, you'll be able to see this, and so this is always kind of your little toolbar on how to manipulate it or make changes. I'm not going to make changes simply because I think she would have my head if I did. So let's look at this. Like for instance, her first question is, for Baker coursework, a passing grade for undergraduate is a D or better. And it's a true false. That's either true or that's either false. And you have directions. Please check one answer. So she has obviously gone in and set up a true false question, and having the setting to only 2 options. So if I was to click on true and click please check one answer, the page is going to refresh, and you see the question again. You'll see your answer, true. This answer is correct. That's the response she gave. And then she actually took the time then, in order to graduate from the program, a BBA student, and she goes into detail explaining why that answer is correct. And that's where the lesson part comes in to reinforce the learning of it. If I click continue, it's online students do not have an advisor. And now I'm to the next question in the sequence. And that's where the importance is of you laying out your lesson and planning your lesson ahead of time comes in, so that you have that linear, cohesive unit of questions flowing from one aspect to another. And again, I would have the option check, and we'd go through that report over and over again. Now, if we want to see all the questions that she has created, okay, or that you've created, or that a way to create and add, we're going to click on edit. Okay, now notice when this happens, the screen changes a little bit. We still have this at the top, okay, and we're looking in the expanded form. You could collapse it, but I want to show you the expanded form so you can see more. Couple things that I want you to see is at the top up here, there's these options. Okay, now the way you have to view these is that if you use any one of these options, so if I use, say, add a cluster, it's going to appear above the passing grade section, and it'll appear up here, and this will get pushed down. And that matters because when your questions into each other, or when you're dealing with a branch, that will matter as far as sequence. So you're able to, and again, import questions, it's much more advanced because it deals with all different kinds of coding options. So chances are you may not necessarily deal with that, but you would add a branch table possibly, or add a question page here. And that's what these are. These are question pages where she's got a question and she's given settings for true, false. And one way that you know that, and that you can, the page itself, say there was a typo, or say you wanted to add a picture, you can go in here, and this is your little edit function, and you would be able to adjust and edit it. Now we can get an idea, once it refreshes, more of what it looks like. So You notice up here multiple choice isn't in blue. That's the type of question it is. I'm sorry, it's a true false that she has created. So you have the true false, the multiple choice option, the short answer, numerical. I bring you over here. You have matching and you have essay. Remember, essay, Moodle won't, if you're assigning point values and you're asking for essay, Moodle won't grade essay. Okay, you'll have to go in and do that manually. Okay, if we scroll down, title, which is important because when you're jumping, which I'll show you in a second, you'll need to know what the page title is, so you know which page to jump to. The content, this is where she's posted the question itself. Answer 1, false. Okay, and here's her response, so that if you click false, this is what would appear. Now notice jump 1. So this is the first question, answer 1, response 1, jump 1. And what it is that by choosing, these are all the titles of the pages she's created. So by saying next page, what that tells you is that the next page in the sequence it will jump to when you're finished answering. Alright, so after you see the reviewed response and you hit continue, it'll take you to the next page. When creating a branch, you could branch out and say, okay, say you responded this way. Well, let's jump you to a passing grade, and so that it would continue and it would jump you to there. And so it's a way to, depending on how students respond and answer, to adjust and manipulate it. Okay, so we're going to leave her on next page. Now look, answer number 2 is true. Here's the response you get, if true. And where does it jump you to? Page. And on here she left these blues just dealing true false, so she didn't need to. So you can redisplay the page, you can save the page, or you can go out. It kind of works the same throughout, whether it be a multiple choice, a true false. Short answer is a little bit different, because in short answer you can type in, provide, do you want it to be an exact response, or do you want an adjustment of it? Like for instance, it could be as detailed as, let's say, what colors are in the American flag. Okay, and so we know it's red, we know it's white, we know it's blue. So you would put the response red, comma, white, comma, blue, red, comma, white, comma, and blue, red, comma, white, and blue, red, white, blue. Those options were available so that those would be all the different answers you would accept. Okay, and so that the wording would need to match up and take in all those variations. Numerical deals literally with math equations. That's a little bit, not a math person, so it wouldn't be my subject area to go through and break down, but it allows you to handle the different mathematical equations. Matching is, simply what matching is, providing question with an answer and having the student pick the right one. And then essay, of course, would be, the idea of a little lengthier paragraph, multiple paragraph response. Okay, so we're going to actually go back. That same kind of idea is all here, where it gives you the detail of it. So we know that this is a multiple choice question. We know that false, this answer is incorrect, is the response, and you get this as well. The score then would be 0 points. If you jump, it would jump to the next page. Get that all the way down. And notice this page is called advising. It's multiple choice. Attendance, multiple choice. Jump next page. And so again, from the say we wanted to insert a page. So down here I would go add a branch table, or add an end of a branch, or add a question page, and that would drop a new question in here that I could then adjust and manipulate according to how I want the student to see. So if you're doing it as a review, if you're using it as a manner of telling students what to do or giving them as a study guide, here's great include in here for respond to page such and such in your text, read this to reinforce things, use this. Okay, and again, if we go into preview, that's a way to be able to actually take it and experience and see how it works. So we're going to stop there on this one, and in the second one we'll look a little bit more at branch and how it gives you a little different look, and how to initially start adding questions from the beginning.